everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a really cute little pair of earrings using delicas and bead weaving. So our word of wisdom for today is a generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed, and that is Proverbs 11:25. So great word of wisdom for today. Another thing of wisdom would be for me to grab my glasses, so let me do that. Okay, so what you're going to need for these earrings, and are these not absolutely adorable little witches' hats for Halloween? So look how cute they are. They are so cute. All right, and I'm going to try to get the light to where it's doing better over here. I don't know why. I had to move my filming stuff around a little bit for another project that I did, and it's messed up everything for me right now. So yeah, it's all kind of crazy. But anyway, here they are. They're really, really cute. This is the green for the hair and the orange and the band. Today we are going to make them using purple and orange. So if you want to make these, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need size 11 delicas in black, size 11 delicas in purple, and the green ones I'm using are some sort of a hex cut delica. They're like a 2-cut, I don't know. But they're a little bit bigger than size 11s, but you can just use regular size 11s, okay? You don't have to have those. I'm just using them because they're kind of sparkly and I like them. I've got 2 lever back ear wires, 2 4mm head pins, jump rings. Now you do need small jump rings for this because they're going through this delica, so they have to be kind of small, okay? So make sure that you're using thin, small jump rings, and these 4mm ones are really good for that. They are available on my website if you're interested in them. I have a size 10 beading needle. I have some 6-pound Fireline in black, and I have some all-purpose black thread Coats & Clark for the fringes because I like my fringes to be dangly and movey, and they are not when you use Fireline on them. Okay, and some scissors and your jewelry tools, of course, for opening your jump rings, and that's it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is thread our needle with our Fireline first. Now, Fireline is round, your needle is not, so you need to flatten it with your fingernail, which I've already done, but I'm going to do again. Okay, so just flatten it with your fingernail, and it should thread through your needle pretty easily. And Fireline usually does not fray like that, but it did, so that's not going to work. I'm going to have to trim it. All the joys of live camera. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, a couple announcements while I'm thinking about it. The bead de-stash sale, I'm going to have to move out one weekend. Something came up October 8th, so it will be the following Saturday. Okay, so October 16th. October 16th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, de-stash sale will be live on YouTube, and I have a bunch of really good stuff. This would make great Christmas presents for people. It's an assortment of really cool stuff, metals, beads. I've got 76 lots, so it's going to be a lot of stuff. Chris is going to help me with it, so I won't be alone. He's going to be monitoring the comments and, you know, seeing who buys what and all that, keeping track of all that for me. So yeah, it's going to be really fun. So October 16th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is a ladder stitch. We're going to be using these black delicas. Now I'm going to zoom in here because it's going to take a lot of up close. All right, so you're going to pick up 2 delicas on your thread, on your needle. We are going to bring them all the way down. Just leave a little tail. So you've got these 2 little beads here. Ladder stitch makes them sit side by side. So we're going to go back up through the bottom of the first bead. Okay, just hold on to it with your finger. Go back up through. Take your time. And when you do that, did you see what it did? It moved it to where it is right beside the other bead. Now we're going to go back down the second bead. Okay, and there we have them, 2 little side-by-side beads. We're going to pick up another bead. Now, your thread is coming out the bottom, we want to sit this little bead beside this one, so we need to go back through the top right here. Just hold everything tight, pull it right on through, and voila, it's going to sit it beside the other bead. Go back up through it, and just pull everything tight, just like that. Now we've got 3 little beads in our row. Pick up another bead. We're coming out the top. We need to go back up through the bottom to make it sit side by side. There it is. So we're going to go right back down through that bead. Okay. There's 4 beads now on our little ladder, little row. We need 9. So we're going to pick up another one. We're coming out the bottom. So we're going to go back in the top. And right around and back up through the bottom. That's bead number 5. Number 6, same thing we've been doing. Number 7, whoops, we're coming out the bottom. We got to go in the top. You want to use an odd number of beads for this too, because when you do your fringe, it's going to it looks better if it's an odd number. And it just makes everything sit better. Okay, pull your thread tight. Try to keep everybody in a little row here. So we've got 7. We need number 8. We are coming out the top. We're going to go back up through the bottom. Oh, I've got 2 beads on my needle. Whoops. Pick up number 8. Just like this. Pop him up there and back down through. Okay, and last one, number 9. Okay, so now that we've done ladder stitch, we're going to start on our brick stitch. Okay, so this is very tiny to hang on to right now, but it will get better. Okay, so I want you to look, and I'm going to show you if I can get it to focus in really closely here. Get a hold of it. Oh my gosh, I can't get a hold of it. Okay, so the space between the beads, can you see those little thread bridges in there? The space between each bead has a thread bridge, and we're going to be going under. We're going to be taking our needle underneath these little thread bridges. Okay, that's brick stitch, what we're getting ready to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up 2 beads. Now, get it to focus. Come on, camera. Goodness. Okay, so here's the first thread bridge. This is the second thread bridge. We're going to skip the first thread bridge. We're going to take our needle and go underneath the second thread bridge. Okay, so just go right under it with your needle. Pull it through. And it's going to set the 2 beads on top of the 2 beads you just had. Now we need to go back up through this bead. And we need to go back down through the first bead that we put on. Okay. Back down through him. And back up through this one. You won't have to do this on every one. This is just the beginning of each row. You have to do that. Okay. So here we have our 2 little beads sitting side by side perfectly. We're going to pick up another bead. Now, we're not skipping a thread bridge this time. We're just going through the very next thread bridge right here, okay? Going through that next thread bridge, underneath it, and we're going to come back and go back up through the bead that we just put on. Now, if you didn't get through your thread bridge, your bead will just pop right back off. I have that happen a lot. So, you know, you'll know if you didn't get through your thread bridge. Okay? So there we have our 3 little beads in a row. we're going to pick up a bead. Okay, so the next thread bridge that we have is right here. We're going to go right underneath it. Come on now. It's a little hard to do when you're trying to film. Yeah, just go right under the thread bridge. Pull your bead through. I couldn't hardly get him to go through there, could I? And then go back up through your bead. Just like this. And there it sits, okay? Pick up a bead. Go under the next thread bridge, right there. Pull your needle through. And my thread's about to come off my needle. Don't let that happen. Go back up through your bead. Back up through the bottom. Come on now, sit down there. And it is a little fiddly. It gets a little easier once you get a couple of rows down. There we go. Okay, pick up a bead. Go under the next thread bridge. Right there. And we're going to go back up through the bead. Okay. Pick up a bead under the next thread bridge. And again, my thread keeps wanting to come unthreaded. And back up through your bead right here. Oh, now see that how that fell off? I did not get under my thread bridge. So pick up the bead again. He just popped right out. Go under your thread bridge. I somehow didn't get looped under the thread bridge. And then go back up through your bead. And if you do that, he'll just pop right off and you just have to put him back on again. So it's fairly simple, but there we go. Okay, last one. Pick up the bead. Let me straighten this out a little bit. Go under the last thread bridge here, and see he's wanting to kind of sit to the side, so I'm going to fix him. Just make him sit right. Go under the thread bridge right there. This can be so fiddly. I was doing the Mojo Jesse James event today with Jim Hawks, and she said it's like holding on to Piglet or something. I thought that was so cute. Like holding on to a piglet. I don't know. I just thought that was really cute. All right. So there we have our second row. Now this is our first row of brick stitch. Now if you can see it kind of wants to curve, just take it, straighten it out here. Pull your threads tight all around. And here's what you should have. You should have 2 rows of just perfect little beads sitting on top of each other. Whoops, it would help if it was on camera, wouldn't it? There it is. So just like that. So now we're going to do our next row. So I like to flip it over because I like to work from right to left for some reason. You're going to pick up 2 beads. You always pick up 2 beads for the beginning of your next row. We're skipping this first thread bridge. We're going through this next one underneath it. Okay, then we're going to go back up through the first bead. Right here. Get the tail out of the way. Okay, down through this bead. And back up through this bead. And all that does is set the end bead flat. It just makes him sit flat. Otherwise, he's going to sit crooked. All right, so we pick up a bead. Go under your next thread bridge, which is right here. And back up through the bead. I'm holding it at a weird angle, trying to get it on video. It's making it a little difficult. There we go. Okay. And just keep everything pulled kind of taut. Pick up your bead through your next thread bridge. This gets going really fast too. Once you get the hang of it, you know, it literally takes no time to make this pair of earrings once you get the hang of, you know, doing this. And you're trying to hang on to every little thing too. Okay, pick up a bead, go under your next thread bridge, and back up through the bead. Okay, pick up a bead, under the next thread bridge, and back up through the bead. And then the last one on this row, we're going to pick up a bead, go under the last thread bridge, and back up through our bead right here. Okay, now we're going to do our purple row. So I'm going to grab some of these purple ones. I'm going to flip my work, so I'm working this way. Pick up 2 purple beads, skip the first thread bridge right here, go under the second one, go back up through the first bead, down through this one, and back up through this one. And again, you only do this when you're starting a row because it just sets the beads correctly, and don't get your thread tangled, because like I just did right here, because that will mess everything up. And it doesn't want to come up where it's supposed to come up. Why are you doing this? Oh, it's doing it because I went through the bead. Okay, I accidentally went through the bead. Let me take this out. If you mess up, just take it out. Accidentally went through the bead below. See that? I was just supposed to go through this bead and then back up through this bead, and I accidentally went through that bead below. And that messes things up. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. All right, pick up a bead. Go through the next thread bridge. Back up through the bead. And if things, you know, they get messed up, just slow down and untangle them. It'll be okay. Go through the next thread bridge. Back up through the bead. Pick up a bead. Through the next thread bridge. Back up through the bead. Pick up a bead and go through the last thread bridge here. And back up through the bead. Now I think that I'm going to make an orange stripe on this one too, just because I think it would be fun. So we've got our purple stripe. I'm going to grab out my orange ones, my orange delicas. Find them. Here they are. And I'm going to make an orange stripe too. I just think that would be, ooh, I didn't need that many. I just think it'd be cute. All right, so I think I'll do a black stripe in between though. So I'm going to pick up 2 of the blacks, skip the first thread bridge, go through the second one. Okay. Go back up through the first bead. Back down through this bead. And back up through this one. Okay. pick up a bead, go through the next thread bridge. And you could make, this would make such a cute pendant and earring set. Like you could do a pendant as well and just make it bigger. You know, the longer you go with your ladder stitch row, the bigger your piece is going to be. So, you know, instead of 9, double it, go 18. Or it's better to keep an odd number, so I would do 17 or 19. But yeah, and that way you can make a pendant too to go with this. Be really cute. All right, go right underneath here and back up through the bead. Okay, so now let's start our orange row. So I'm going to flip this. I'm going to pick up 2 orange delicas. I'm going to skip the first thread bridge, go through the second, just like this. Go back up through this delica, back down through this one. Whoops, I'm sorry, off screen. Down through that one and back up through this one. And you'll see how that just sets them in there just like they need to be. Okay, pick up an orange delica, go through the next thread bridge, and back up through the bead. Okay, orange delica, through the next thread bridge, and back up through the bead. Okay, and that's our orange row. So I'm going to flip it, grab a few more blacks out, pick up 2 black delicas, skip the first thread bridge, go through the second, back up through the first bead, down through the second bead, and back up through the first bead. Okay, just like that. Pick up a delica, through the next thread bridge, or I guess I should say under. You're going underneath it, under the thread bridge. Okay, and back up through the bead. All right, flip your work if you want to. Pick up 2 delicas, skip the first thread bridge just like we always do, go through the second, go back up through the first bead, down through the second bead, back up through the first bead. Okay, don't get your thread caught like I just did. Just like that. Now for the top, we're just going to take a delica and we're just going to put it on our thread, let it drop down, and we're just going to go, we're coming out of this bead right here, okay? We're just going to go back down through this bead. And what that's going to do is set him on here sideways, which is what we want. We want him to be sideways. So we're going back up through this bead. Okay, can you see? Through this one on the top. And back down through the next one. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to weave this thread in so we do not have to tie a knot. So I'm coming out of this first bead on the second row. I'm just going to go down the side here and come out below the orange bead. Okay, just like that. Now I'm coming out the first orange bead on this row. I'm going to go up the next orange bead. that tail out. I'm going to go back down through the first orange bead. Back up through the second orange bead. And then I'm going to go over one bead and go down like 2. Okay, so I just went over to the next orange bead and down the orange bead and the one below it. All this is doing is weaving the thread in. I'm going to go straight over to the one beside. See, I'm coming out this black one right there. I'm just going straight across to the one beside it and back up. Then I'm going to go back over and back down the same bead, the one right beside it, and back over and up. And back over and down. Okay, now I'm going to go over and go down. See, I'm coming out this black bead right here. Okay, I'm going to go over a bead and down all these sides right here and come out the bottom. See, just like this. Okay, now we've got these 2 strands. I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot right here with these 2. 1, 2, pull it tight, and just an overhand knot. Well, I'm trying to tie an overhand knot. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take my needle, and my knot is right here. I'm just going to go right beside it and go up just 2 or 3 beads on the diagonal here. Pull it tight. Okay, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut both my tail thread. These scissors aren't very good. And my beading thread. Okay, now here's our little piece so far. We're going to take our all-purpose thread, and I'm going to get about, I don't know, again, maybe 1.5 feet to 2 feet. And I'm going to thread my needle with the all-purpose thread. This is always harder too than Fireline because it, well, I said that and then it was easier. All right, so I'm going to take my all-purpose thread. I'm going to start up here at the top, and I'm going to go down the first 3 beads, not the top one, but the first 3 on this side, and I'm going to leave a little bit of thread hanging out. Okay, so I'm coming out of this orange one. I'm going up the orange one right beside it. Be careful not to pull your thread all the way through. Back down that orange one that I started in, the one right beside. Whoops. And what did I do? I pulled my thread all the way through, just like I told y'all not to do. Okay. Well, let me just pull it on through. And I'll just go from here. Just pretend that didn't happen. Keep on if you did not pull your thread through like you're not supposed to do. So hold this. I'm just going to hold it so it won't come out again. I'm going to go back up this one right here. And back down. And I'm just going around basically these 2 beads 4 or 5 times just to wind that thread through there. So it's going to be nice and secure because I've gone through several times. Okay, now I'm going to go down the next 2. I'm going to come out underneath the purple one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go up the one right beside it. Down that one again. And then I'm just going to go all the way down and out the end bead right here. Okay? just like that. Now you can trim this thread because it's not going to go anywhere. You've wound it through. All right, now we're going to get these out of the way. We're going to use our green beads and make our fringes. Okay, so let's put some green beads out here. Now the first row, I'm going to make 5 beads long. So pick up 5 green beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let them drop down. Skip out this first one, okay? Just scoot him up here. Go through these 4 and the black bead on the first row. Okay, so just like that. Now you want to do this fairly slowly because you do not want your thread to get a knot in it. And it will. It's very easy to get knotted. Okay, so just like that. Now we're going down the next bead, the next black bead, and we're going to pick up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, pull them down, miss out this first one, and go back up through these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the black one on the first row there. Whoops. And the black one right there. Okay. And again, just pull slowly when you're coming through here because you don't want it knotted. Then you can take your bead and just pull. So if you get it like this, to where there's a space in there, just hold the bottom bead and pull, and that should fix it. Okay, there's our second dangle. So we're going to come out this third bead, and you can pull these. You want them to be kind of loose. You don't want them to be taut. Okay, we're going to pick up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you can do these as long as you want, obviously. You don't have to do them just the length that I'm doing them, but okay, miss out this first bead and go back through the next 6. And if you happen to accidentally not miss out that first bead, you'll know because they'll all fall off your row. So I've done that many times too. Okay, so there's our third. So we're going down our next bead right here. And, ow, don't do that. We're going to pick up 6 again. And the reason that I'm staggering it, I'm doing 7, 6, 7, 6, is because I want her hair to look kind of uneven. And I've got a knot in my thread. Let me get this out. Otherwise, that's going to be a major problem. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I just think it looks better if her hair looks a little bit uneven, you know, because she's a witch. So miss out this first one. Go back up through these 5. And the top one on the row, the black one that you're coming out of. Okay. Pull through. Go down the next one. This time we're going to do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let them fall. Miss out the first one. Miss out this first one. And go back up through the other 7 and the black one on the top of the row. Oops. right there. Okay, pull through, go over and down your next one. Let's do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, here they are. Miss out the first one. Go back up through these 6. And the top black one right there on the top of the row. Okay, these are so cute. We're going down the next one. And we're going to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let them fall down. Miss out the first one and go back through these 5. And the top row, black one. Pull tight. Go down our next one. And we'll do 6 again, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again, we're missing out the first and going through the other 5 and the top row, black one. And I got tangled up there. If you get it tangled, just take your time. I've got one wrapped around the other. Just take your time and undo it. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to do 5 on this last row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, I didn't go down the bead. Okay, sorry, let's take these off. It doesn't look right if you don't go down the bead. Doesn't look right at all. Okay, so go down the next bead. I got distracted by my tangle. Down the next bead. Now I'll do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, miss out the first one. Go through these other 4 and the top one on the black row right there. Okay, let's get these out of the way. All right, now we're going to sew this thread in. So we're going to go up a couple. You can do this however you want, sewing this thread in. It just, as long as you go around and around. So I'm going down the next bead that's right beside the one I'm coming out. Back up through that one and the one above it. Back down through this purple one. Back up through this purple one. Back down. Back up and through the next couple. Back down through the one beside it. Back up. Back down. Back up. And the one above it. Back down. I'm going to go down a couple. I'm going to go over to the next one this way. Back down this one. Back up and through this one. Back down this one. Let's see, I'm going back up through this one. I'm going over and down the next one. And all the way down this side and whichever bead it comes out of. And then I'm going to cut it. Okay. So there is our little earring. And then you're just going to take your jumper. Zoom back out a little. Whoops. back out, not in. Okay, you're just going to take your jump ring. Just open him up here. Go ahead and insert him right through there. And then I'm going to take my lever and put him right on. And close my ring up. And there it is. Adorable, adorable little earring. So there it is in one color. There it is a different way. You could make her hair purple. You could make it orange. You could do whatever you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will go ahead and make the next one to match this one, but I will not make you suffer through watching me do it again. And anyway, like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. And visit my website. I've got a lot of really cool stuff on there, including these little 4mm jump rings. Alright guys, have a great rest of the day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.